Have you ever pondered over the legacy of Che Guevara, the Argentine Marxist revolutionary? A figure shrouded in both admiration and controversy, Guevara's life was a whirlwind of political fervor, revolutionary tactics, and enduring ideals. Born into a middle-class family in Argentina, Guevara's journey took him far beyond his homeland, leaving an indelible mark on history. He was a physician, an author, a guerrilla leader, a diplomat, and above all, a revolutionary. He was a key player in the Cuban Revolution, held significant positions in the Cuban government, and extended his revolutionary efforts across the globe. But his legacy is far from simple. Supporters hail him as a symbol of anti-imperialism and social justice, while critics highlight the violent conflicts and authoritarian policies associated with his name. Che Guevara, a man of many faces, a symbol of many causes, an enigma to many minds. To truly understand this iconic figure, we must dive into his life story starting from his early years. Ernesto Che Guevara was born into a middle-class family in Rosario, Argentina, on June 14, 1928. His upbringing, far from extraordinary, was marked by a normalcy that would seem to belie the extraordinary course his life would eventually take. As a young man, Guevara was drawn to the field of medicine, a pursuit that led him to the University of Buenos Aires. His years spent studying medicine were not solely devoted to academic pursuits. There was another education taking place, one of the political sort. It was during these formative years that Guevara's political consciousness began to stir. The university provided a rich tapestry of ideas and ideologies, and it was here that Guevara was first introduced to the concepts of Marxism, social justice, and anti-imperialism. But it was his travels across Latin America that would truly ignite his revolutionary spirit. Armed with a medical degree, Guevara embarked on journeys across Latin America. His travels were not of the typical tourist variety. No, Guevara sought to dive deep into the heart of the continent, to see, feel, and understand the lives of the people living there. He journeyed through countries like Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia. He traversed mountains, navigated rivers, and walked the dusty roads of the countryside. Everywhere he went, he saw poverty and social inequality. He witnessed the struggles of the indigenous people and the injustice they faced. He saw the harsh realities of life for the working class, the peasants, and the marginalized communities. These experiences left a profound impact on Guevara. They fueled his revolutionary fervor and shaped his political ideologies. But it wasn't just about what he saw. Guevara listened. He heard the stories of the people he met along the way, stories of exploitation, of struggle, and of resistance. Stories that echoed the same themes of social inequality and injustice. These stories resonated with Guevara and further cemented his belief in the need for radical change. It was during these travels that Guevara became deeply affiliated with Marxist ideologies. He was drawn to the principles of social justice, equality, and anti-imperialism that Marxism advocated. He saw in Marxism a potential solution to the injustices he had witnessed. He believed that through revolution, a new social order could be established, one that would address the socio-economic disparities and bring about a fairer and more just society. Guevara's travels across Latin America were not just physical journeys, but also ideological ones. They were a journey of transformation, of radicalization. They shaped him into the revolutionary figure that we know today. These experiences would lead him to join forces with Fidel Castro, setting the stage for the Cuban Revolution. Guevara's travels had ignited a fire within him, a fire that would soon spread across Cuba and beyond. In 1956, Guevara joined Castro's movement to overthrow Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary chapter in the annals of revolutionary history. Guevara was no mere participant in the Cuban Revolution. He was a crucial cog in the machinery of change. His role was multifaceted, ranging from doctor to commander. He was instrumental in planning and executing guerrilla warfare tactics that would prove pivotal in the revolution's success. Guevara was a firm believer in the power of the guerrilla, the small but determined group of fighters who could turn the tide against a more powerful enemy. His strategies were innovative, emphasizing mobility, surprise attacks, and close engagement with the enemy. By 1959, the revolution had triumphed, and Batista was ousted from power. However, Guevara's revolutionary journey was far from over. With the revolution's success, he transitioned from the battlefields to the corridors of power, holding influential positions in the newly formed Cuban government. As Minister of Industry, he worked tirelessly to nationalize industries and implement socialist policies. He emphasized the need for self-reliance and sought to reduce Cuba's dependency on foreign imports. His efforts, while controversial, were instrumental in shaping Cuba's post-revolution economy. Guevara also served as a diplomat, advocating for anti-capitalist movements on the global stage. He was a vocal critic of the United States and its foreign policies, often clashing with American representatives at international forums. His speeches were fiery, passionate, and unapologetically anti-imperialist, reflecting his deep-seated belief in the cause of global revolution. Yet it's important to remember that Guevara's role in the Cuban government was not without controversy. His policies and methods were often met with criticism and resistance both domestically and internationally. His uncompromising stance and radical ideals made him a polarizing figure, admired by many, but also feared and reviled by others. Yet Guevara's revolutionary aspirations extended beyond Cuba's borders. His vision was global, and his fight against injustice and imperialism was far from over. But that's a story for another scene. Guevara's revolutionary fervor took him to Africa and Latin America. His mission was to spread the flame of revolution, to ignite the fires of change in lands far from his adopted Cuban home. His journey was marked by a burning desire to topple what he saw as imperialist regimes and replace them with socialist ideals. In the mid-60s, Guevara turned his attention to the African continent, specifically to the Congo. Here, he hoped to stir the embers of rebellion and fan them into a blaze of revolution. He organized and trained guerrilla forces, sharing the knowledge and tactics he had honed in the Cuban Revolution. His aim was clear: to support the local fighters in their struggle against the existing order. However, Guevara's efforts in Congo did not yield the results he had hoped for. The political landscape was complex, the local forces were fragmented, and the external support was inconsistent. Despite the obstacles, Guevara remained undeterred. His revolutionary spirit was not easily extinguished. From Africa, Guevara moved on to Bolivia. His strategy remained the same: to organize and train guerrilla forces, to inspire them with the vision of a socialist future. He believed that Bolivia could be a strategic starting point for a continental revolution, a spark that could set the whole of Latin America ablaze. Yet, the path of revolution is fraught with danger. In Bolivia, Guevara faced formidable challenges. The terrain was harsh and unforgiving, the local support was limited, and the government forces were backed by powerful international allies. Despite these odds, Guevara pressed on, driven by his unwavering belief in the cause of revolution. In the end, Guevara's global revolutionary efforts were marked by both triumph and tragedy. His passion, his commitment, and his resilience continue to inspire those who dream of a more equitable world. His story serves as a reminder of the price of revolution and the courage it takes to pursue it. However, Guevara's revolutionary journey would meet a tragic end in Bolivia. In 1967, Guevara's guerrilla campaign in Bolivia led to his capture by Bolivian forces and CIA operatives. The revolutionary, who had been a thorn in the side of the establishment, was finally cornered. Guevara had been leading a small contingent of guerrillas in the Bolivian jungles, intent on sparking a revolution. However, his efforts were met with stiff resistance, and his location was eventually betrayed. The Bolivian forces, supported by the CIA, closed in on Guevara's position on October 8, leading to his capture. He was held in a dilapidated schoolhouse in the village of La Higuera, where he was interrogated. The next day, on October 9, the order came in. Ernesto Che Guevara was to be executed. He faced his executioners unflinchingly, and with his last breath, he spoke words of defiance. "Shoot, coward! You are only going to kill a man!" Guevara's death would only amplify his status as a symbol of revolutionary struggle. Che Guevara's legacy is complex, eliciting both admiration and criticism. To some, he is a heroic symbol of anti-imperialism, social justice, and revolutionary ideals. His relentless pursuit of justice, his commitment to the marginalized, and his unyielding resistance against oppressive forces resonate deeply with those who advocate for social change and anti-capitalism. However, it's important to recognize that Guevara's legacy also has its darker shades. Critics point to his role in violent conflicts and the authoritarian policies he helped implement during his time in Cuba. They argue that his revolutionary tactics, while driven by a desire for social justice, often led to suffering and instability. Yet despite these conflicting views, Guevara's impact on the world stage is undeniable. His life and words continue to inspire revolutionary activism worldwide. His iconic image and quotes emblazoned on posters and t-shirts remain powerful symbols of resistance. Che Guevara, a man whose life and legacy continue to inspire and provoke, remains an iconic figure in the global struggle against oppression.